And then there were two. Voting in Iran's runoff presidential election is underway. It is a tight race between two leaders on the opposite sides of an ideological spectrum. Reformist Minister Pezeshkian and hardliner member Jalili. Polls will close at 6 p.m. local time and they are usually extended until as late as midnight. The final result will be announced on Saturday, although initial figures and trends may come out sooner. The runoff election follows last Friday's polls where only about 40% of voters turned up to cast their ballots. And as a result, none of the four candidates were able to garner the 50% votes needed to win, sending the election into a runoff round. The reformist candidate Pezeshkian, who is a former health minister, has promised that he will engage with the West in nuclear negotiations to lift the tough economic sanctions that are plaguing Iran's economy.
I think that Mr. Pezeshkian can make changes. He's an expert and a specialist. During his campaign, it seemed to me that he raises the crucial issues with honesty.
On the other hand, the hardliner Jalili, a former nuclear negotiator, has portrayed a much tougher position in negotiations. He has also underlined his plans to defeat sanctions and strengthen economic ties with other countries.
According to the campaign ads and debates that I saw, it would definitely be much better if we vote for Mr. Jalili. I hope that Jalili, if he gets elected, will be able to help improve the country's economy as we expect.
The next president is not expected to usher in any major policy shift on Iran's nuclear program or support for militia groups across West Asia. Since Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei calls all the shots on top state matters, the president can influence the tone of Iran's domestic and foreign policy. Insiders say Khamenei is keen on a loyal and compliant president who can ensure a smooth eventual succession to his successor. And to get us more perspective, Jason M. Brodsky is joining us live. He's a policy director of United Against Nuclear Iran and non-resident scholar at the Middle East Institute's Iran program. Mr. Brodsky, thank you so much for joining us here on WION. Good to see you. With the kind of abysmal voter turnout we saw in the first round of Iran's election, should one be optimistic this time?
It's great to be with you. I think the Iranian people, through the record low turnout that we saw during the first round, are sending two messages. One to the Islamic Republic that it is irredeemable, and another to the international community that the Islamic Republic is illegitimate. And I think that we are going to see that kind of record low turnout in the second round as well. With the Iranian people long coming to the conclusion that they've been through reformist presidents before and conservative presidents before, but the fundamentals of their plight and living situation have only gotten worse. And so that is because they recognize that in the end of the day, the real problem is the supreme leader and not the president.
All right, Mr. Brodsky. Now, we are getting some of the insiders saying that the supreme leader is keen on a loyal and compliant president who can ensure a smooth eventual succession. I want to ask you, what kind of government should one expect in case the reformist Pezeshkian comes to power?
Well, I think you have to understand that the supreme leader structurally and constitutionally is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and as you mentioned in your introduction, is responsible for the key strategic decision-making on foreign policy. So if there were to be a so-called reformist government, they would be implementing the supreme leader's foreign policy. While the candidates do have different outlooks and styles and tones, if you will, I don't feel that these are decisive in moving and influencing the Islamic Republic's foreign policy. Those decisions are made at the system-wide level, and the president is merely just one part of a larger picture of that system.
All right, Mr. Brodsky, thank you so much for joining us here on WION and getting us your insights.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.